again. And this time I'll show you how to peel them. So you'll take it like this. You'll cut the top off and the bottom. It is discolored. It's been sitting in the fridge there for another week or so. You'll find it at most Asian markets and West Indian markets, Latino markets as well. What I did with an African market, the thickness of the skin, I went down with my paring knife all the way across, and then all you would do is peel back the skin like so. Yeah. What I forgot to mention, is really important that you either wear gloves or you give your hands a coat of vegetable oil just to protect it from getting discolored. And all you will do is just remove the skins like so. Once you've got it all peeled, you'll just give them a little scrape like so, and you would put it into water just so it doesn't go discolored while we're doing the rest of them. The other sort of cheat way of doing things, or green banana, I know I like to really fuss up with it too much, but you can cut off the top and the bottom, and the sort of size pieces that we'll be using today, you chop up the whole banana, then you get your knife, and all you will do is then just peel like so. Just make sure to get all of the fiber sort of skin area. Yeah. And this is basically the size you want for making this Talkari. So, boom, 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 boom. Another way is to take up a piece like that, and all you will do is go around like if you're peeling an orange or something. There we go. To be honest with you, that is the easiest way for me. It will take a few minutes, but this is what I have here. And again, I have it in water, just cool water, just to prevent from oxidizing and going discolored. Got a couple tablespoons of olive oil. I'm on a medium-low heat, by the way. That I'm gonna add a medium onion, 3 cloves of garlic that I just gave a rough chop to, and while not a must, I found some cherry tomatoes in the fridge there, so I thought I'd add it in there. It's totally optional. Black pepper, I'm going to turn my heat down to low because I don't want to burn the garlic. I just want this to come together nicely here. And you will notice I did go in with quite a bit of black pepper in there, and that is only because I'm not adding any Scotch bonnet or any fiery pepper to this. However, at the end I will add something, but I will explain why I did it then. So the black pepper is for the heat. Yeah, it's time to add your curry powder. And while I'm keeping this dish vegan, vegetarian, and whatever, there is also a version with salted cod that my mom would do. That if you guys drop a comment down below and let me know if you want that recipe, I'll show you to do that one. The other thing, if you're doing this gluten-free, I want you to pay attention to the curry powder that you're using. Read the label. Just make sure it's gluten-free. That's all I have to say. It's been about 4 minutes since I added the curry powder in there, and the kitchen is just smelling awesome. At this point is where we'll go in with all of the chopped up, peeled and chopped up green banana. Now what we're going to do is turn up the heat to medium, and we're going to sort of deglaze the bottom of the pan with the sort of remnants of the liquid the green bananas were in. Should have that lovely aroma of a good curry. Your kitchen should be smelling just wicked, just proper and wicked. What I like doing here is a couple things. One, some Caribbean green seasoning, and if you're new to Caribbean cooking, and I mention this every opportunity I get, it is one of the key ingredients to our food, and what it is basically is a puree or a blend of all the herbs we like using in our dishes, along with garlic and seasoning peppers and all that. And for mine, the liquid of choice I use for blending it's olive oil. The full recipe is available at caribbeanpot.com. So that adds a lovely flavor to here. The other thing we need to add is the salt. Give that another little quick stir. It's now time to add the braising liquid, which is complement of water. Give that a quick stir. We just want to make sure everything is covered in water. I'm just using the bottom of my spoon here to sort of scrape the bottom of the pot. There's a fond there. Yeah, curry does make fond too. We want to scrape up and get all up inside here. Yeah, we want to make use of all that nice flavor in there, yeah, to give it that lovely cumin sort of earthy flavor. I'm not going with roasted cumin or what we call jeera. Instead, what I have is anchar masala. Man, I'm telling you, that gives it a totally different flavor. You know, check out your favorite West Indian or Caribbean grocery store. They will have it in there. If you notice on the corner here, you see the bubbles? That means it's starting to come up to a boil. All that lovely flavor is in there. So what we're gonna do is reduce the heat down. I forgot to mention, after I added the water, I cranked up the heat to high to bring it up to a boil. You want to reduce the heat to a rolling boil and let that cook. I'm going to put the lid on there slightly ajar, which means there's going to be a space for it to breathe. But let it cook until it's nice and tender and start falling apart. And for about 25 minutes, I did end up having to add half a cup of water because it was cooking down. This is nice and tender now, but you can cook it further if you want it falling apart more, or you can use the back of your knife, spoon, and crush it as I just did. Totally up to you. Now, I know you're watching this and probably thinking, well, what do you eat this with? Favorite? Sada roti. Not so favorite? Rice. But, you know, it's up to you. Whatever you want to eat it with is totally up to you. Now, earlier, I talked about how I'm not going to use any Scotch bonnet pepper in there. I use the black pepper. But what I have here is some wiri peppers. And those are fine wiri peppers that I planted. They were in the freezer. And I just like to sprinkle it in there. And we're going to hit that a quick stir. The reason why I'm adding it to the end here is, and I added quite a bit. You don't have to, yeah? Cut back on the amount you add. Totally up to you. But I like to add it at the end here, just before I turn off the stove, because it's going to give it a little bit of flavor, tiny bit of flavor. But when whoever is eating who likes spicy food, they want the pepper, that will, because it was in the freezer, you know, even though it wasn't in the freezer, because it's lightly cooked, once you press on it, it will burst. Fire. Sub soldiers, listen, if you enjoy this recipe, I'd really appreciate it if you hit subscribe and click that bell notification thing. If you've made the recipe, take a picture and send it to me. Email address down here. I mean, trying to tell people the email address, then Butts will take the address and do all kind of thing with it. And tag me on Instagram at Caribbean Pod. I really appreciate you guys, and thanks for being in my kitchen with me today. Irene. And the last little thing I like adding is some fresh chopped cilantro to the mix. Hit that a stir like so. I'm going to shut off my stove. Remember to taste it for salt, adjust it to your own liking. If you don't have cilantro and you have shadow benny, I mean, I would prefer shadow benny myself. But Chris here, CaribbeanPod.com, always a pleasure having you guys here in the kitchen with me. Yeah, green fig talkari. Well, we did it curry, but if you want a version with the fish in there, that salted cod, drop a comment down below. Meat-free Monday, vegan, vegetarians, and gluten-free. Yo, look at that niceness, not just look at that niceness.